الله الرحمن الرحيم. مشاهدينا الكرام، مشاهدي صفحة The Arab Immigrants، اليوتيوب، الصفحة والمجموعة، أهلا وسهلا بكم. اليوم نستضيف الأستاذ تريفور، وهو متخصص في الايلتس منذ 20 سنة ودرس في عدة أماكن، وبإذن الله تعالى سنتعرض لموضوع الكتابة في الايلتس اليوم. Mr. Trevor, welcome again. We have met before.
Yes, it's good to be back here.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Today we are going to discuss the writing issue, and we are going to discuss it with experiment.
Yes.
Live. We hope so.
It'll be good.
Thank you. It's your field.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I will just introduce myself again. And so my name is Trevor. I've taught English as a second language, including IELTS and TOEFL preparation, for 20 years, starting in 1998. And I know from 2004 until 2009, so over 5 years, I marked more than 1,000 essays. After that, I stopped counting. So I know as we go through with whatever the different countries that you are watching this from, there are always common mistakes and there's common questions. How do we write an essay so that we get high marks in IELTS?
I know that the writing is two parts.
Correct.
Part of them is the essay.
Yes.
And the first part is a different one.
That's correct.
Can you tell us something about that?
Sure, exactly. So the essay is on both exams, whether you have a general IELTS or if you have an academic IELTS.
Mm-hmm.
But on the general IELTS exam, the second part they have is writing a complaint letter. So looking at, I have a problem in the restaurant, how do I address or write a letter to the manager? Complaint about that. I have a problem with my bank, how do I write a letter to my bank?
Okay.
So they're looking at more informal, but what is the structure in the complaint letter? With academic IELTS, there it's a little bit more technical, like you will find at high school or university.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be a chart that is a bar graph, a line graph, or a diagram, and you are going to comment what is happening in this chart or this diagram.
Mm-hmm.
Is there increases over the years, decreases, and you're comparing and contrasting. So they're looking at, can you describe this in an academic way?
Very good, very good. So where do you want to start today?
I am always most comfortable starting with the essay. That's usually what takes the most time for students on their exam.
And it takes marks.
And that is worth, yeah, it's worth 66%. So 2/3 of your mark is based on the essay and 1/3 is on the summary.
All right. In this case, is there a highlight or something you want to prepare to pave the road for the
Sure.
experimenting?
So we mentioned in our last time together.
One second. I think we didn't use the microphones here.
Okay,
Yes.
that's right.
So I think the sound is not there.
Okay.
And nobody complained about the sound.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry for that. I hope. I mean, Ahmed, you didn't listen to that.
Okay.
I mean, I would like if there was a comment or something, or somebody at least. I mean, we have more views, we have more people now out there.
Okay.
So we mentioned that we are going to do the IELTS writing part today.
Yes.
And if we just short summarize what you have said before for those who missed that part, please.
Okay. So with the IELTS writing, the essay is worth 2/3 of your mark, so 66%, and it takes most of your time, most of the hour. The other complaint letter or the summary takes about 15 to 20 minutes, and that's worth 1/3 of your mark, so about 33%.
Good. And you want to say any hints, any notes before you start doing exercise or explanation?
Sure. So as you're writing, you always need to think, what is the teacher looking for? What is going to get me the higher marks? And so you'll see as we explain today on the blackboard, there's certain steps that you can take to be practicing, but also to organize your essay in a way that makes it easy for the teacher to look at it very quickly and to give you the marks that you're desiring.
Very good, very good. Are we going to move to that part, or there's something else to do here?
Maybe we can move right into, I will focus mostly on the first two steps that I teach, which is brainstorming and outlining, because once you have that information, writing is just expanding those ideas into your essay structure.
Very good, very good. It's your field. Move freely, do whatever you like. I will follow you.
Okay, thank you.
You want to go there?
So yeah, let's move over to the board so that I can write down
We
some
have a
notes.
long cable, you can keep it, and you can move.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. No problem, I'll do it.
So it's best when I'm facing this way.
You want me from the side?
Just get a little bit more room from that. Okay. We're good? Thank you.
Almost.
So I will just write a few words before I explain.
Go ahead.
Okay, good. So as we're looking to write, the first thing that we need to do, and what makes it easier, because often when students are given the question, they're confused. What am I going to write about? What is the teacher looking for from this topic? And so in step one, I call it brainstorming, and it's just the idea of thinking in your mind and writing down some ideas. During this step, there should be two things that you think about or focus on. The first thing is that you want to look at what is the question. So you're identifying with the question, is it going to be talking about your opinion? Is it going to be compare or contrast? Or sometimes we're looking at a problem or a solution. And so I look through the question and I identify, is it, for example, what is the best country in the world? Well, then I know, okay, I'm going to be asked my opinion. Or if it's worded, should people work while they're in university, or etc. You're looking at what is the best, my opinion and my ideas. With comparison contrast, we have two different parts that we're going to discuss. So if we talk about compare your country with England, or compare your country with a neighboring country, so you're going to talk about what's similar and what's different. Or there may be problem solution type questions. And with these, I often see these talking about the environment or technology. So for example, how do we stop air pollution in the cities? Or it's recommended that people start to drive less and use more public transportation. And they want you to explain more of the problem and the solutions.
Okay.
So I look at this very quickly, and even within 30 seconds to 1 minute, I can start, okay, what type of question is it? And I then move into part B. I think about 4 or 5 ideas. What will I talk about? If I'm thinking, what is the best country in the world? Well, what makes a good country? Is it peaceful? Is it easy to do business? Is it friendly? Lots of tourist type places to visit? With compare contrast or problem solution. In this section, I want to just write down some ideas and words that come to mind, not complete sentences. The last thing for step 1 that I'll just mention, this is not a long process. I'm just looking at 3 to 5 minutes. So most students, they just start writing, but I want to take a few minutes, identify the question, and identify what will I talk about in this step. let me move right into part 2, which is looking at making an outline from this. And I'll just ask a quick question. If I'm writing lower down, is that okay, or should I erase this? And
no, continue until the...
Okay, so I will go a little bit further down then with step 2. So I want to make a brief outline, a quick outline, as I'm looking at my topic. This step will probably take me 4 to 6 minutes. And let me just add, this is your goal. When my students first start these 2 steps, it's not taking them 10 or 11 minutes. It might take them 20 minutes, 25 minutes. That's no problem. But as you practice, you're going to get faster in thinking, how do I write about this topic or this idea? In making an outline, you have 3 sections or 3 parts in this. The first thing that you want to do is you want to choose 2 or 3 of your best ideas. Okay? Now, best here is looking at 4 or 5 ideas and then saying, okay, I want to talk about this one, and this one. If I only think of 1 or 2 ideas here, and then I start writing my essay, maybe that's not strong. But if I can get my mind through practice, through repetition, to be always thinking of several ideas, now I can take out the best ideas. The second thing I need to do is I want to write down specific examples. And so many times students have a great idea, but they're not explaining it well in their essay. And so when I have some ideas here and I think of a specific example, now I can make it clear. So if I just give an example, it's very far from here to Saudi Arabia. That's too general. The teacher's looking for something specific. So I could say it takes about 12 to 15 hours to fly between Canada and the Middle East. Or if I use the example of us in Winnipeg, from here to Toronto, it takes about 24 hours to drive. So instead of having far, expensive, or other words that are very general, I want to think of some examples. And then the third thing I want to do, I want to write a sentence that's going to summarize my topic and my ideas, because that now helps me as a teacher to give you marks. Here are the things that you're going to talk about. And this in an essay is called a thesis statement. This may be a term you've seen before, maybe not, but it basically means that you're writing down what is your topic and what are your 2 or 3 main ideas. And we can pause there, see if there's any questions, and then I can go through these steps with a specific example.
I believe you can continue now.
Okay.
Continue, go ahead.
Okay. So let's look at this, and I'll just move a little bit to the side here. Let's look at this in the question, which I often use, best country in the world. So if I'm given an essay topic, what is the best country in the world? Before I start just writing my ideas, I want to think, okay, is this opinion, comparison, contrast, or problem solution? In this case, it's an opinion, because what I think is the best country may be different from what someone else thinks is the best country. Mm-hmm. Then I think of 4 or 5 ideas. Well, what makes a country great? So, as I mentioned earlier, maybe it's peaceful. Maybe there's a good education system. How is the health care? What else can we talk about? We can talk about the people.
The weather.
The weather, yeah.
Beaches.
Okay, so I'll put in the tourist places, and then examples could be beaches or mountains.
Yes.
You'll see in a minute I'm going to use Canada, so we'll talk
Hiking
about
and
mountains and Niagara Falls. But very quickly, I have several ideas here. And so now I don't need to have more ideas. These are already 5 or 6 ideas. So I can then move right into my second step, which is making an outline. So I look through here and I think, what is a good idea? Well, education, healthcare, these are things that we would be saying, yes, I want to live in that country because of the education system, the healthcare system. Just add there, education. And I'm going to because I'm going to talk about Canada, I'm going to talk about the tourist places. So I've taken away peaceful, the people, and the weather, because they're good. They're not bad ideas, but I need to focus a little bit closer on what I will talk about. So I have my best ideas, and I want to think of specific examples. So let me just move this down a little bit. So why is the education in Canada making it a great country? Well, in Canada, from kindergarten to grade 12, it's free. So in many countries that I visited and that I've taught in, parents may be paying $30 a month up to $500 or $1,000 a month, depending on the level of the education. But in Canada, all across Canada, it's free. Secondly, we have many great universities. Okay. So you notice when I'm making my specific examples, I'm not writing out long sentences. This is just very quick, in a couple of minutes, what are some ideas? And so with having free education and then at universities that are world class, I can think of several examples. University of Toronto, University of British Columbia, University of Manitoba. All of those have a great reputation. So I do the same thing then with tourist places. So in Canada, we have Niagara Falls and we have the Rocky Mountains. And with the healthcare system, I can also think of examples with that it's free, which is very attractive. I don't need extra insurance if I get sick. And also that we're well known for development in technology with cancer research, with heart specialists, etc. So in a couple of minutes, I've come and thought of these ideas. The reason I want to do this, and think of it from a teacher's perspective, when I'm looking at your essay, I don't know if you're male or female, if you're from Russia or Brazil or Saudi Arabia or Dubai or Indonesia. I don't know anything about you except what your mind has written down here. So if your information is a little bit of this idea and a little bit of there, but it's not connected, it's not organized, I'm going to give you a lower mark. But if I have these sections and I see that it's organized, it's very specific with good ideas, I can give you a higher mark. This may take you several attempts. I often find students have to write 3 to 5 essays with a teacher correcting it before they start to get more smooth in writing their sections or their parts for that. Okay, so let's move into the main sentence that I want to then write about. With my thesis statement, I want to talk about my topic and my 2 or 3 ideas. So in this example, I would say Canada is the best country in the world. So for me as a teacher, when I see this, I can identify, okay, you're going to talk about Canada. However, this by itself is too short. And many students, I see they write they write a sentence, what they'll talk about, but they're not making it clear. It's better to say Canada is the best country in the world for 3 reasons. Now, as a teacher, when I see this sentence, I can see in your essay, and I'll just draw this quickly. you're going to be writing this sentence in your introduction. I know that you're going to write 3 body paragraphs. One is going to be about education, 1 paragraph will be about healthcare, and 1 paragraph will be about the tourist places. So from this sentence, now the teacher is clear, oh, in just 1 minute, okay, they're going to write about these ideas. But I want to take you a step further. This is an average essay, thesis statement, or sentence. I want to take you to a higher level so that it looks very professional and very academic, so the teacher very quickly can say, oh, this student has a very high level of English. When you have your reasons, I want you then to write down what are your 3 reasons. So Canada is the best country in the world for 3 reasons. Excellent education, great healthcare, comma, and beautiful tourist places. Let me give you a little secret that most teachers will never talk about. Are you ready?
We are.
Okay, so with this secret, when you've written your essay and you've handed it into the teacher, you're now very relieved and you can go and finish the rest of your IELTS exam and you go home. What happens after that? Those exams and the essays, for example, are given to a teacher. I may receive 15 or 20 essays to then correct. So while you're now relaxing and you're saying, oh, everything is good, I'm finished, now the teacher starts to work. I have 15 or 20 essays. I only have a 2-hour time limit in order to mark. This means I'm spending about 5 or 7 minutes writing your essay, marking your essay. So in 5 or 7 minutes, if I see the different sections, it's clear, it's laid out, I can give you a higher mark and move on to another essay. If you just said Canada's the best country in the world for 3 reasons and you don't have this, I now have to work a bit harder. I still need to read through your essay. What are you going to talk about? And so by putting this in, then very quickly I can say, oh, okay, body paragraph 1 is about education. What are the 2 examples? Healthcare and tourism. And so by seeing this organization, I can give you a higher mark very quickly because of this. Most students are focused on their grammar and their spelling. Am I correct?
Yes.
Exactly. And so from the whole time that you've been in school and you've looked at different books, everyone always focuses, what is your grammar, what is your spelling? When I look at those areas, they are part of your mark, but students often don't realize this is also the same amount. So grammar and spelling is worth 25%, well, grammar is worth 25% of your mark, spelling, vocabulary is worth 25% of your mark. The organization and the words you're using is also worth 25% of your mark. And so having this organized is a quick way to be raising that area that you might be lacking in. So let me just pause here. I can go into more details and we can I can put a handout of this and we can put it as an attachment later on the post.
Okay.
So that people can come back. But this is in a nutshell. Maybe I'll just comment one more piece on this. If you just start writing, and I think I mentioned this earlier, it's going to be a little bit disorganized, or if you have a great idea, but you can't think of good examples, now that's going to be a problem because now the teacher is going to look at it and say, well, education's a great idea, but they didn't explain it well. But when I have 2 examples for every one of my ideas and it's explained well, this will lengthen my essay to the 250 to 300 words I need, but it will also make it very clear for the teacher and I can give you high marks quickly.
Very good. We need also to go in details in conjunction words and where the
how to join
examinee, where the people who are doing the exam lose their marks.
Yes. So the first area, the 25% I mentioned, is in this organization.
Okay, so you want us now to stop at this part?
I think that would be good, and then we can move into another section about where else students lose their marks.
Okay, the question, we will do it now after this one or in a day, another day, because we need to mention this to people who are following us.
Okay, so let's do another section now.
Okay.
And then as more questions come in the following week, then we can, so I'll address about the conjunctions in the joining section. Let's do that during this session as well.
Okay, you can go ahead, it's yours.
Okay. Okay, so if you look, and we can add this as an attachment as well, there's the IELTS rubric. Rubric means the chart for how is it marked. And so we can look and see how is the teacher giving you your marks. And the first section is always the content. And that's what I'm looking at as we look how it's organized, what is the words that you're using. The second 25% that we're looking at is called cohesion. Maybe I'll just write some of this.
You can delete anything because we have already recorded it before.
Okay. So let me just make myself some more room here.
طبعا مشاهدينا الكرام تتابعون معنا الأستاذ تريفور في درسه عن الايلتس رايتنج، الكتابة في الايلتس للامتحان، ويعطينا بعضا من خبراته حول الوسائل والطريقة التي تساعدك في حصد النقاط والوصول إلى ما هو أعلى من 7 إن شاء الله.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. So when we look at the second 25% on this rubric, and we'll attach this to this feed afterwards, there's a section that says cohesion and coherence. This is the British terms for it. In North America, we often call them transition signals, which are the cohesion. What are the words we're using to join our words together? So commonly, we would say, as we're writing, so we have our introduction in a paragraph, and that would probably be about 3 or 4 sentences. This thesis statement becomes one of these sentences. Then we would talk and have your body paragraphs. So you would probably start by using a transition signal first, or first of all. And then you're going to write your first sentence. So in this example, first of all, Canada is a great country. And I'm just going to write in short sections. Canada is a great country because of its education. So then I have my examples, so example A and B. Then I move into my second body paragraph. And so then I can start by saying second, and then third as I go further down. In fact, if I erase and just help highlight this a little bit better. Okay, and then body 3, third. Okay, again, I guess this should be capitalized. And then I end off in conclusion. So this is my ending. So as a teacher, when I see the thesis statement, Canada is the best country in the world for 3 reasons: excellent education, great healthcare system, and beautiful tourist places, that goes here. Now I know as I read through first, second, third, and then I have examples. So for example, for instance, when I'm writing, why do I want you to write 2 examples? The main reason is if you only have 1 example, it's going to shorten your essay, but also if this example isn't clear, now I can't give you a higher mark. But if you have 2 examples, even if one is just average and one is great, now I can give you complete marks for your coherence and your explanation. Other common words that we'll use in here are words like also, moreover, Or if you're writing the opposite, you may use words like however or but. As a teacher, I'm looking for these words in each paragraph. So if they're missing, that's going to lower your mark because it's not cohesive, it's not being joined together. But there's a second level to bring your marks higher. Not only am I looking for these types of words, I'm looking for the ones that are academic. If I read my first essay that I'm marking, however, I come to a second essay, however, but, I come to a third essay, which is yours, instead of these common transition signals, you're going to say, in contrast, on the contrary, using these types of words, which are more academic, the teacher says, oh, everyone's been saying however, but. This student has higher English because they're using more advanced transition signals. And so that is a way of raising the marks in this section, of putting these sentences together and also of changing your transition signals in order to be more academic. Do we have time for one more tip in this section?
For me, you can.
Okay, thank you. Again, first, second, third, let me show you a more advanced sentence to write so that it stands out, is different from what the other students are writing. And I'll need a little bit more room here. Yes. Okay, so first of all, Canada is a good country because of education. Second, Canada is a great country because of healthcare. That's my main idea in this paragraph. Instead of saying second, because this is going to be a simple sentence, a simple structure in my sentence. I just have my subject, I have my verbs, and I have my object in my sentence. I could instead say, besides education, comma, Canada has a great, and you'll probably notice I often write down on an angle as the further I get.
All of it is on the screen, don't worry.
Okay, good. Besides education, Canada has a great healthcare system. Healthcare. Here, I will move over and make this correct. Now I've made a complex sentence. In my third body paragraph, instead of third, I could say, in addition to. Okay, so this is my phrasing that I'm replacing with third. In addition to a great healthcare system, comma, Canada has many tourist places. Okay?
Yes.
And then I'll add an adjective, many beautiful tourist Again, now I've created, instead of a simple sentence, which I take out, I've created a complex sentence which raises my level of writing. And so when I'm looking at how it's joined together, I say, oh, okay, this student has more advanced writing. They're not just short, simple sentences. Mm-hmm. So these are some of the strategies that we look at. Again, I always help my students with their grammar and with their spelling, but many students have been studying grammar and spelling for 8 years, 10 years, 12 years. Even within Canadians and Americans who have grown up studying and learning English, there are occasional grammar mistakes, or, oh, how do I spell that word? But very few teachers talk about this area, and this is as important and can raise your mark more quickly than just your grammar and spelling. And so you need the complete package, I say. You need to have somebody teaching you about these parts as well as grammar and spelling. I think that there are a few more tips, but I'm going to stop there for today. And then as you have questions, you can be asking us, and then we can be responding over the next few days.
We will be collecting the questions from people.
Yes.
And we hope that next episode, next time, not today,
yes. That's, yeah.
for sure, we will continue and put them in advance, so we answer them, and we go into the second part.
That would be great, because everyone will have questions. Some of them will be similar, some of them will be unique or different, and so that'll give us a chance to answer those questions.
إذا مشاهدينا الكرام، نشكر لكم حسن استماعكم ومشاهدتكم، وإن شاء الله سنعلن عن حلقة أخرى بإذن الله بعد أن نستقبل منكم أسئلتكم واستفساراتكم وردودكم حول ما شاهدتموه اليوم. Mr. Trevor, thank you very much for this episode today, and we hope to meet again soon.
Inshallah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
شكرا.
Okay.
أيضا نشكر MIA Muslim Association in Manitoba, the Islamic Association, for giving us the room and the facility to do this work today. Thank you very much.